Good evening and welcome to the August 14, 2025 Town of Lake Luzerne Zoning Board of Appeals meeting. Would you all please rise and recite the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. On tonight's agenda, we have the public hearing for Americo Renzulli for a proposed height variance for a accessory structure. Public hearing from Michael Reed for a side yard setback for a sign. Continuation of public hearing 2023 AV-5 for James Moralian and Suzanne Roberts for retaining wall variance for shoreline setback, length and height of a retaining wall and a side yard setback. Accepting minutes for the July meeting and new and old business. And with that, the first item on the agenda will be the public hearing from Americo Renzulli, 47 Stones Pond Road, 2025 AV-4 for a height variance from accessory building. The proposed height is, and before I open the public meeting, Mr. Renzulli, I have documentation from you that states, the application states that the height of the building is 23 feet 6 inches. The drawing says 23 feet 8 inches. I need it to be correct. So which is correct, the drawing or the application? The drawing is correct?
Yeah.
I would like to change.
It's whatever's on the drawing is what it is.
The drawing is correct. Karen, would you change that to 23 feet 8 inches for the height of the building? Thank you.
I'm going to change it on the application as well. Why don't you come up to the table?
You like to introduce yourself? Would you like to introduce yourself?
That's right, yeah, they're going.
Yeah. I will open the public hearing for oral variance 2025 AV-4, Americo Renzulli, 47 Stones Pond Road. The variance is for the height of an accessory structure, which is 21 feet
8 inches.
8 inches tall. No, excuse me, 23 feet 8 inches tall. The public hearing is open. Karen, have you? I know the public notice has been issued.
Yes, that was done on the August 5th. I got one back as undeliverable, no mail receptacle. That's the only one I got back. I had someone come into the office and look at the file. They left no comments. And then I had another person who requested that I email them the variance. They wanted to look at it, but I've received no comments from them either. So I have nothing.
Thank you. Anyone in the audience who wishes to speak to this issue other than the applicant? I will close the public hearing for area variance 2025 AV-4. And we'll get into the application.
So.
This application is seeker exempt. We have a letter in file that it, from the APA that it is non-jurisdictional. There's county referral is not required. So I'd like to get right into the application. An accessory structure, the height of an accessory structure, which exceeds the height of the primary structure and is 23 feet 8 inches tall. History of the property was purchased in 2012, 80 acres. The property is subdivided with a 10-acre pond. The 80 acres are subdivided, or I'm I'm confused about that because when I go to the tax maps, there's several parcels, but it's all owned by Mr. Renzulli. Mr. Renzulli, would you come up to the podium, please?
The pond is one piece and where the garage is gonna go is on a 23 acre parcel.
But the total acreage that you own
Is
is
80
80.
plus or minus, yeah, but they're all subdivided,
There are other parcels there that he owns besides the
Yeah.
pond and this
Yeah,
parcel.
This one, there's three more.
Yeah, and there's like one, it's long and skinny, I think it's like 3 or 4 acres and it's all one piece, but it's many pieces to make one.
I understand.
Where the house and the building's going is on 23 acres.
Thank you. Description of the proposed action is putting up a 45 by 50 storage building, 23 feet 8 inches high, not a warehouse. I'd like to get into the variance standard unless anyone has any questions. Question number 1, in your opinion, describe how the requested variance will not alter the character of the larger neighborhood or impact adjacent properties. Responses: we're the last house on a small dead-end road. We own the private road. It backs up to 80 acres. Barn would not be visible to neighbors. It would be used to, I assume this means for storage, surrounded by woods. Have been to the property. It is indeed the end of a dead-end road. It is surrounded by 80 acres property. It cannot be proposed building location, cannot be seen by the adjacent neighbors.
And I talked to the one neighbor, Mr. Chairman, Mitch Nolan, and they have no problem with it.
That will be more beneficial to Mr. Renzulli if we had documentation of that.
No, they have no problem with it. They didn't, because they didn't seem to think they needed to send the letter back saying there was no issue because they have no issue.
Okay,
And they're the only person that actually borders them near that. And there's 200 feet of woods between
Yeah,
them and where the building's gonna go.
They can't see it from there.
what is, I've got drawings for the building. And I'm just curiosity on my part, it is a metal structure? What is?
It's gonna be wood with metal siding. Green metal siding. Green roof?
No,
Brown.
it's gotta be brown roof,
Brown.
it's gonna be all wood outside. No sides, no metal out, just a roof. And the metal could be inside.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you.
We didn't want the sheet rock because of the moisture and everything, so we put the metal inside.
I do not believe that this requested variance will alter the character of the larger neighborhood or impact adjacent properties. Rail?
You're buried in the woods, surrounded by your own property. I would say the question is answered.
I agree. I don't think it's gonna alter the neighborhood, adjacent properties.
Sonia?
I also agree. I do not believe that it's gonna alter anything in the neighborhood. There's nothing around it.
Question number 2, in your opinion, describe what alternatives have been explored to achieve a solution other than a variance. Response is none yet, didn't know we needed a variance, no neighbors are affected, and I know we need the height for snow in the winter. Well, it's definitely an honest response.
Yes.
No alternatives were explored, not necessarily what we want to see, but I agree, no alternatives have been explored, Rail.
Question answered. Happy with it.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I agree. It's answered.
Answered or you agree with the response? We're not accepting the application, we are discussing the application,
Want me to go back?
please.
Okay. Yes, I agree. You did not explore any other alternatives as you did not feel you needed to.
Thank you. Taylor,
I agree that no alternatives were explored.
Sonia,
I also agree. No alternatives were explored.
thank you. Question number 3, in your opinion, explain whether this requested variance is substantial. Response is not affecting the environment. The request is at least 50% increase. I do not feel substantial. I didn't get a 50% increase, I got a 30% increase. But I consider a 30% increase to be substantial, Rail.
I consider the amount to be substantial, but in this specific situation, it's not substantial enough.
Kayla,
I agree, it's substantial.
Anya?
I also agree, substantial.
Question number 4, in your opinion, describe how the requested variance will not have an adverse impact on physical and environmental conditions in the neighborhood. The response is we own all the property, 80 acres, the area is already cleared. The trees are not disturbed and no extra runoff of water. I agree the area's been cleared. Is there any plan for drainage around the building, since you're putting up a 45 by 50-foot building with a metal roof? So, whereas right now you've got currently an open field, so rainwater dissipates through the open field. Now you're going to be directing that water. I mean, it's all on your own property. Have you, for your own benefit, have you considered drainage?
Yeah, once the building's up, the place will be graded off to where all the water can disperse evenly around the building.
Thank you. I do not believe that will have an adverse impact on the physical and environmental conditions of the neighborhood. Rail.
For this variance, we're looking at strictly height. The height that you're asking for, I do not believe that it will have any adverse impact on the physical conditions of the neighborhood.
Kayla?
I agree, the height's not gonna have any impact on the physical environmental conditions of the neighborhood, plus it's already been cleared.
Sonia?
I also agree, will not have any adverse impact on the physical and environmental conditions in the neighborhood.
Question number 5, in your opinion, describe how the requested variance is not a self-created difficulty. Response is yes, there is easy access to a private road, no difficulty. I need for the height. I need the weight load and I need it for the weight load and the material I'm putting in it. This is a self-created difficulty. It doesn't have to be that big. Fact is, Mr. Brunswick wants it this big. Self-created, Rail.
Self-created, yeah. Want it, but you don't need it.
Already. Yeah,
That's
that's
just one of the questions.
Kayla?
I agree, it's self-created, and everything's self-created. You wanna build it, right?
Yeah.
Sonia?
Yes, it is self-created.
Any further discussion or questions for Mr. Renzulli?
Specs of the building. This one's old.
It's in your packet from last month that I put in.
That's this one.
No, this one here.
The 23'8".
Thank you.
The 21'6" is the height of his house.
Right. I make a motion to approve area variance. Number
Four.
2025 AV-4 Americo Renzulli, parcel 298.11-1-52, 47 Stone Ponds Road, for a height not to exceed 23 feet 8 inches.
I'll second that.
second by Real. Roll call vote to approve 2025 AV-4. Will Zuber,
Yes.
Kaylee Terrell,
Yes.
Sonia Harris.
Yes.
Matthew Balich.
Yes.
All votes yes, motion carried.
We're good.
You're good.
So now you have to just get the permit for it once, that process.
Oh, the phone call I'm gonna make when I get to the parking lots to the builder. He's been chomping at the bit all week to find out what's going on.
Well, I'm gonna need 3 sets of plans. I've got the plot plan and you need to have him fill out an application. And if it's not Mr. Renzulli doing it, we need an agent form for the builder.
We filled that one out earlier, Karen, because we paid for it.
You paid for it. You paid for the variance.
Variance.
Oh, we
I
paid for
never
the
issued the
variance?
building permit.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay, so you'll have to get an application for the permit and one for the county, because you're gonna have to go to the county as well. So you're gonna need the application, 3 sets of drawings. I've got a plot plan, and there'll be a $50 fee when you come to get the permit.
Okay.
And if the builder is getting the permit, you'll need another agent form for the builder from Mr. Renzulli, unless it's gonna be you.
I'll come and get the stuff. Probably
Okay.
tomorrow.
Yeah, Tucker said.
Yeah, I'll be in tomorrow.
Okay, Tucker.
Yep.
The only thing I'll have to do is just when Johnny just gets more drawings than what we gave you already, because you should have one.
Well, I need what you're gonna give the county. I have to initial
Those,
them,
those will be the,
but,
those.
but there's no structural part of
Yeah.
it. Okay,
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good night. You too.
Next item on the agenda is a public hearing from Michael Reed, 1353 Lake Avenue, 2025 AV-5. Mr. Reed is asking for side yard setback variance for a sign. He's in the residential resort zone, 25 feet is required, and he is proposing 8 feet. And Karen, once again, would you please confirm that the public notice has been issued?
public hearing notice was published August 5th. I did not get any back in the mail on this one, other than the town of Lake Luzerne, which we received. It didn't come back. And I had one person ask to have it emailed to them, and I've gotten no response on that either. And that's the only one I have on that one.
Okay, I will open the public hearing. Is there anyone in the audience who has comments on this other than the applicant? Currently? You'll get your time. Then I will close the public hearing for area variance 2025 AV-5.
Zoning board.
Okay, so we have someone. Oh,
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah, it looks like they just muted themselves, so.
Since we don't take Zoom comments anymore. This application is seeker exempt. County referral has been approved. APA is non-jurisdictional. Any questions? I'd like to get right into the application now. This is for a side yard setback requirement. Signs requiring a certificate of compliance, freestanding signs larger than 8 square feet are subject to side and rear setback yard provisions in the dimensional table. The proposed sign exceeds 8 square feet and is proposing an 8-foot side yard setback and 25 is required. History of the property, multiple dwelling unit used prior as well as storefront. Have owned property, owned and renovated for 2 years. Description of the proposed action. Side ordinance requiring 25-foot setback from abutting property line. We have an 8-foot setback from the property line, requesting variance from distance setback requirement. But Karen, is the size of the sign not an issue?
The size of the sign is not an issue. It's the placement of where it's at. It has to meet, because of the size of it, it has to meet the side yard setback.
Thank you. Variance standards. Question number 1, in your opinion, describe how the requested variance will not alter the character of the larger neighborhood or impact adjacent properties. Signposts are for a place to stay with residential resort like Vernar, which is all short-term rentals, cabins, motels, camps, restaurants. And the posts are in character with the neighborhood, have been used for many years by businesses before us. In your packet from last month, we've got this picture. That is where the sign used to be. That is a proposed location, which is maybe, I don't know, I can't tell from this. If I try to size it based on a one, sure, not going to be very accurate, but I do not believe the requested variance will alter the character of the larger neighborhood or impact adjacent properties.
In this specific spot, this situation, the area you're in, I don't believe it will alter the character of the neighborhood.
Kayla,
I don't see that it will alter the character of the neighborhood either.
Tanya,
I don't see where it altered the character of the neighborhood or impact adjacent properties either.
thank you. Question number 2, in your opinion, describe what alternatives have explored to achieve a solution other than variance. Response is email, spoken, and met with zoning. None of those things are alternatives.
Yeah, we haven't, we would rather just stick with pre-existing, so rather than put new posts in or, what's been pre-existing, so no, we haven't explored anything else other than pre-existing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. The email spoken, met with the zoning and looks like you tried to come up with alternatives, but. I'm happy with the answer.
Kayla,
I mean, to me, it seems like you don't want alternatives, right? Like, so you want the sign you don't want to have to put new posts in. That would have been an alternative, so that would have been seeking an alternative. She could have put that there, but I'm fine with what you have it. Put it that way.
I thought it was less of a mess, yeah.
Yeah, right, that's what I was trying to get at.
Yeah, no, I agree.
That I find that kind of being a alternative, lack thereof, a mess, right?
I think it would almost get messier if there was an alternative.
That's kind of what I'm trying
Yeah,
to say.
no,
You're
I
trying
agree
to
with you.
avoid a bigger project.
I understand, I agree.
Okay.
Sonia,
I'm okay with what the alternative you tried instead of making a mess. It looks really nice. What we've done so far.
question number 3, in your opinion, explain whether this requested variance is substantial. The response is it's not substantial. In fact, my request would only beautify Lake Luzerne. In addition, it's where the previous sign and size was located historically. I agree with the statement that that's where the previous sign was located historically. However, this is a request for a 8-foot setback when the requirement is 25 feet. I consider that to be, since it's a factor greater than a factor of 3, I consider that to be pretty substantial. Rail.
It is substantial. However, the area that you're in, it's a tight little group of motels or hotels. Yeah, it is substantial, but in my opinion, it is acceptable for that to be substantial in that specific situation.
Kayla,
I agree, substantial numbers, but your options are limited.
Sonia?
I agree, substantial, but your options are limited.
Question number 4, in your opinion, describe how the requested variance will not have an adverse impact on physical and environmental conditions in the neighborhood. Response is it maintains the character of the neighborhood, the posts are existing. Concreted rounded posts that have been used for many businesses as prior. I do not believe the requested variance will have an adverse impact on physical and environmental conditions in the neighborhood. Rail.
I do not believe the variance that you're asking for with this sign will have a substantial impact on the neighborhood.
Kayla?
I don't see any impact on the neighborhood. Posts are already there.
Sonia?
I do not see any adverse impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood either.
Question number 5, in your opinion, describe how the requested variance is not a self-created difficulty. Response is the signposts have been fixed and unchanging. The local ordinance has been recently changed, is not uniformly been applied to existing signs and their post/size. Karen, please correct me if I'm wrong, but existing signs that were in place prior to the ordinance being changed are grandfathered in,
They're not grandfathered in.
or not
Depends
grandfathered in.
on when it was put in place.
If it was put in place before the ordinance was
It's supposed
changed.
to be brought into
It's
compliance.
supposed to be brought into compliance.
Thank you. I've learned something this evening.
I learned that too. That was very interesting for
Um,
me as well.
Not supposed to.
But many haven't.
It may very well be that many haven't, but that is not a factor impacting this decision-making
Correct.
process.
I know.
It is a self-created difficulty. You've decided that you didn't want to move it anywhere. You wanted to leave it where it is. It's not compliant where it is. It's a self-created difficulty.
Fair enough.
Rail,
Self-created.
Self-created.
Sonia?
It is self-created.
Any additional discussion, questions? I make a motion to approve area variance 2025 AV-5, Michael Reed, parcel number 286.12-1-5 for a side yard setback for a sign of 8 feet by required 25.
I'll second that.
Frank Marvell. Roll call vote to approve 2025 80-5. Will Zuber, Kayla Bell,
Yes.
Sonia Harris.
Yes.
And Chairman Matthew Pouch.
Yes.
All votes yes, motion carried.
So we have to,
It
we have to
looks
issue you a permit for that sign.
Oh.
So you'll have to come in and get an application and
Sure.
get it.
There's a fee for it too.
Yes.
So nice.
But I'll be there tomorrow.
I
for the
know.
inspection, so.
Are you gonna bring it with you or should I still?
Well, no, you'll need to come in to pay. The other thing too is with that, because Tom McKinney talked about a partial CO.
Yep.
I know he's gonna be there before.
Yep.
If you can just get a copy of that,
Sure,
and then we can also work to get the permit for the short-term rental too.
perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is the area variance. Continuation of the public hearing for area variance 2023 AV-5. James Moralia and Luzerne Roberts for 49 Valeria Drive. The variance is looking for a shoreline setback of 47 feet versus the required 75. A side yard setback of 13 feet versus the required 20. A 6-foot height retaining wall is allowed, 9 feet is proposed, and 25-foot maximum length is allowed, and a total of 82 feet length is proposed.
9 or 8.5 for the height.
Uh, 9 or 8.5.
I'd be happy to clarify that. There's a lot of discrepancies on the description in the, Karen shared with me the notes that she provided with, excuse me, Eric Sandblum from SRA Engineers, agent for the applicant, Jim Raleigh, who's next to me. And then I see in the proposed variance decisions here, so let me just set it straight. What's on the plan is correct. The total height at its maximum height location is 8.5 feet. That is the structure height measured. It includes the stone base that's buried under the wall and a few feet of wall that's buried.
So what do we have on the application versus the drawing? Because this is a huge application and there's a lot of different numbers. You know, there's a lot of moving parts.
Yep.
It has, I agree, and it has changed several times over the last few years.
Yep.
So I will have to defer to the engineer who is designing it. If he tells me that the height is 8.5 feet, it is.
But you said it's.
You said some of it's
You
buried.
said that it's.
So by the definition, my understanding and by Lake Luzerne definition, we have to measure the height of the wall as the full height of the structure. So that is 8.5 feet.
Okay.
What is the base?
The base is 6 inches of stone. That's included in the 8.5.
That is included in the 8.5.
Yep, and
Okay.
then there's a couple feet that's buried of the wall units themselves. So the maximum reveal, the maximum that will be visually seen of the wall is 5.5 feet.
But the actual height based on our definition is 8.5 feet.
Right. Height of the structure is 8.5. What is visible is 5.5.
Do we have like one actual application with these numbers on it?
No,
So we need a complete application. Because-
the apple. When they put in their first application, they had one set of numbers, then it got changed to another set of numbers. And now that they've been through APA, and we had a public hearing on the first set of numbers that we got, we had a public hearing on the second set of numbers that we had. Now that it's gone through APA and they've actually got their permit, the numbers have changed again. And I'm not sure if I put it on the last sheet of the cover sheet today, under where it's got variance decisions, that has, if they're right, and Mr. Sandblum can verify that, what I have is the shoreline setback is supposed to be 75 feet. You're asking for 37,
41.9.
41.9.
The existing wall is 1.9 from the shoreline. And so the new proposed wall is 41.9. That was a condition that allowed the APA to approve the variance. And so that change occurred through that.
37.
There's a lot of different stuff here within the first 5
Let's
minutes.
get it right, though, before we talk about, yes, there are different
Why don't we
numbers.
just get one application submitted with like all the facts listed out rather than going back and forth?
Well, that's why I put it on this. Because this is gonna be, if depending upon what you decide to do,
Mhm.
these are the variances that they're asking for. The shoreline setback, supposed to be 75, it's, now you're saying 41.9.
Yep, that's what's on the plan.
0.9,
41.9.
okay. Side yard variance is supposed to be 20, you're asking for 5.3.
That's 4.94, and that hasn't changed since it was updated in the November 9th, 2023 meeting.
I don't know where I picked these up. I thought I looked at the plans, but. All right, I'm gonna change it, 4.94. The retaining wall height, 6 feet is allowed, you're asking for 8.5. Retaining wall length, 25 is allowed, you're asking for a total of 108.
And through our process with the APA, that did get shortened a little bit.
To what?
104.87.
0.87.
Yeah.
Correct.
So that gives you the correct,
Yep,
and,
no-
and is that based on that last set of plans?
Yes, the set of plans that was submitted to your office after the APA approval
Okay,
includes those numbers. Though that's what is shown in the drawing.
so you do what you need to do from there. But it
Okay,
is
so-
now, if
So
you changed it on here, it should be correct on here.
that is the plan that has been sitting here. The people who are notified about the public hearing have had access to. Is that correct, Karen?
No,
Well, yeah, if,
Yeah,
when they were notified, I mean, the public hearing's been open, right?
the public hearing, this,
It went up when the most recent notice, when the notice went out for this public hearing.
this, we did not send out a
Right.
notice. This is not a public hearing. Well, this is a continued public hearing
Mhm.
from before, from the. Let's see.
Yeah, it was left open, so no notices would have been
I had
seen.
it.
For what it's worth, I don't know that it matters, but there was a public hearing process through the APA variance as well, and all the neighbors were notified them. I understand it's not the same entity as the
December
zoning board
14.
here, but just so you know that they have been notified.
In November of 2023, November 9th, we had new measurements. The length of the retaining wall was 108 feet, the height was 9.5 feet, the side yard setback was 4.94 feet. That and that was what was presented at the November 9th public hearing. On November 9th, 2003, we had a public hearing, and those were the measurements that went with that public hearing. December 14th, it was left open. January 11th, 2024, it was left open. And it was just tabled until Mr. Moralia resolved the issue with APA. We've not had anything else since January 11th, 2024. The public hearing is still open for those dimensions that I just gave you, which do not match, totally match the dimensions that are here. Is everybody thoroughly confused?
It's almost like we're in the application process right now.
Well,
We are in, we still have a public hearing open. You have some options. I don't want to speak for Matt. You can close the old public hearing. You can call for a new public hearing with the new measurements. You can decide maybe you don't feel it's necessary because it's not a substantial change. I don't know. That's up to you. But right now you have a public hearing open for those old dimensions of 108 feet long, height of 9.5 feet, side yard setback of 4.94 feet.
I think you could look at it too, that you guys had left the public hearing open for the APA to make their considerations, put their restrictions or their conditions to what they needed to revise. They also had a public hearing. You can take what was taken from that public hearing. So if anyone's tracking from our public hearing, they would also have been notified about the APAs, and then they would have been able to make comments there as well. So I think you could still keep it as the same.
Are this a public hearing tonight to make a decision, or is this just like a?
If you decide to close the public hearing,
Mhm.
it's possible you could make a decision. That's gonna be your call, what you do. I looked back at the minutes. I did not see where anyone had come in and made any comments on this wall at all. Do you recall anyone making any comments at all?
No, I just know that, one of my neighbors came up to look at the plans and the wall. I described it to them. And they went away pretty much without comment.
Yeah, I hadn't received. I didn't see anything in the minutes from the past meetings where anyone made any comment.
And I haven't had anyone come in looking for it.
I do not believe that there were any public comments. I was on the APA public hearing.
Remember, yeah.
There were no comments. for the length of time that I sat because it was pure silence.
Yes, I was trying to multitask.
It is, I don't think that the numbers are, that the difference in the numbers are substantial enough to prevent us from proceeding. The ideal situation would be if we had all these numbers initially.
And then the public hearing issued. And then maybe council here for a little backup.
Um, My intention was, well, let me ask the questions, since there's no one in the audience, since we don't accept Zoom comments, it's obvious that there are not going to be any comments. So our options at this point are to close the public hearing and proceed, or leave the public hearing open and issue a new notification, at least in the newspaper and on our website, stating that the public hearing is still open, but the numbers have been changed to these numbers.
And then at the next meeting, have a public hearing to make a decision.
Well,
Essentially, or
at the next meeting, with the new information having been disseminated, see if it changes anyone's opinion. If it doesn't, then we can close the public hearing and proceed.
Could we not
vote on it.
close the public hearing? Ask our questions of the application, go proceed with that. And just not make a decision until we have our council here?
Yes,
If we know we're not gonna get comments based off of APA's hearing, nobody here, nobody there. I feel like that's just pushing it off, because we could also then next month not make a decision.
we could. My position is that we have enough information to be able to proceed. But I'm only one voice on this board. So I will ask my board members.
I
Which-
agree,
What is your preference?
I agree, we should proceed.
Tanya?
I have to admit, I'm new to this, so I would think I wouldn't want to wait any longer. It feels like you've been waiting 2 years. So I would say proceed.
Well,
I think we're asking for 4 extremely substantial variances right here. There's a lot of gray areas. And I don't want to delay your project by any longer than I have to. But if, we, legally really haven't fulfilled our part as a zoning board, or because we have not, posted in the paper what the actual numbers are, everything just changed. That's my opinion. I think it should go the same as every other variance. It should go by the book. And if it's 75 foot, it's 75 foot. I mean, we got to get stuff down. We need hard numbers. Within the first 5 minutes of talking about this, every number changed a lot. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's been quite a process with the APA.
And I would hate to push something through for you really quick right now. And you guys hit a snag or something because it didn't go through. Or you have an aggravated neighbor that looks at the public hearing and says, well, look at, they were asking for 37 foot and they're 36. Or something. That's my opinion on it.
Could I,
My opinion is that it should be clear. Everything should be on the application. This is a large application. You've clearly hired a firm to represent you. Why can't you put it all on paper for us?
It was a joint effort.
I know.
And the application was submitted 2 years ago. So we were
But
still
the
working on that same.
the one that we're
application.
looking at tonight. By all sense, I mean, you paid him to submit this. We should have something accurate submitted. That's my opinion on it.
I personally had forgotten all about filling out the application. It's been so long. For what it's worth, that it might not be worth much to you, but it is to me. I've got almost $12,000 invested in answering questions. And every time I get delayed, the bill goes higher.
Then next time before you come to the zoning board meeting, make sure everything is accurate that you hand to us. And you don't have to come back again.
May I point something out?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so Jim started this process 2 years ago
I
and
understand.
we were brought in later once it became apparent that an APA application was needed. So we achieved that. We got the APA permit and basically to accompany the original application, we provided updated plans that were modified as a result of that APA process. So it really wasn't on our radar screen that, that a new application was needed. If Karen had mentioned something, we certainly would have done that.
All I'm
But
asking for-
I also would like to point out that all of the distances, all of the requests that are in the application that were previously warned, all the changes that have been made are a reduction of that ask. So we were asking for, this much variance, now we're asking for this much. And
All
so
I'm
it is a
asking for
reduction.
is a complete, accurate application. That's all I want, in my opinion. The same thing that we ask for everybody else that submits a variance in our town. I just want a complete, accurate application.
Well, I'm looking at the application that he originally submitted. The application, not the plans. And
If you can just give, Aaron, if you can supply me with an application for the numbers that he's asking.
there were no numbers on this application, the original
So what are we
application.
looking at? What if we don't know?
It's on your cover sheet, what you're looking for.
This
The
is what you're-
variance that he's asking for is the shoreline setback, 75 feet is required. They're asking for 41.9. We just changed that. Side yard variance, 20 feet is required. They're asking for 4.94 feet. Retaining wall height, it's always been on the cover sheet right from the very beginning, which is why I keep giving you a continued one each month. And it has changed on this sheet from the beginning ask to the ask in November. And now today, with the new plans coming from APA, we've put now the correct numbers on there.
So the people that requested the variance that you emailed them the information on it, what numbers?
No
did that-
one has asked for it.
Okay, that's all
Yeah,
just-
I've had no requests.
okay. That was my opinion.
I have a concern that without council present and without these numbers going out to the general public, that we are approving something which the general public has not been notified about. And although you state that everything has decreased, unless I wrote it down before, the shoreline setback 75 feet is required. You're asking for 37, now it's 41.9.
So
That's not a decrease. It is.
it is.
So, yeah, so we're getting farther away from the shoreline.
Yeah, instead of being
I'm
30
sorry.
seconds. Yeah.
Take that back.
Let me say this, if you feel that you need to put the correct numbers out to the public, you should call for and vote on a new public hearing tonight so that we can get it done within the month. And when they come back next month, we can hopefully wrap this up rather than wait for council for next month for then to be told you better have another hearing and then make it one more additional month from there.
That's
So-
what I'm
Rick was
asking. I mean, let's
asking.
just get everything really cleared up. That way you guys can just come in next month and go out. Because there's a lot of gray areas right here, in my opinion.
Are those the numbers that
Don't
you,
want to waste any more of their time.
I don't either, but
are the numbers that you just changed for us here? The ones that APA had their public hearing at?
Yep.
Nothing changed during their public hearing.
Correct.
Then I don't really see a difference when we make it.
That's between you guys. Has nothing to do with me.
And we
I just,
vote on it.
I know in the past variances have been rushed through. And it wasn't a favorable outcome. For the applicant, I'd hate to rush it through. And I know you feel like you've been, I can feel your pain, you've been waiting for years now. But I'd hate to get you at the finish line and push it quick and have it be a problem. That's my opinion.
I will make a motion to leave the public hearing for area variance 2023 AV 5 open until next month. To allow the applicant, to allow the town to get the correct information, and please don't change it again.
No intention to do so.
To get the correct information out to the residents of the town of Lake Luzerne.
Could we take their numbers right now and approve their numbers? Like as submitted, that way they don't have to come back tomorrow and give Karen numbers, like, can we establish their numbers tonight?
Well, well,
Those are the numbers, these are the numbers that are on that.
That's submitted on that plan.
Correct.
So
That was available to the public. But since we didn't put out another notification, the public wasn't aware that things had changed.
Mhm.
So these are the correct numbers.
so on my cover sheet, what I am doing. Where it said variance decision and we listed shoreline setback, side yard, I changed I changed the word decision to variance requests. And put down the correct numbers. You guys decide what you're doing as far as,
There was a motion. Made by Matt
did
to
you
leave it
finish the
open.
motion?
still open.
Did you finish the sentence in your motion?
I thought I had.
Okay, what exactly is the motion?
It was to leave the area variance, leave the variance, leave the public hearing for the area variance open.
Okay, so you need a second.
There's a
Second that.
second by Rail. Roll call vote to leave 2023 80-5 open. Rail Zubel,
Yes.
Kayla Rail,
No.
Sonia Harris.
Yes.
Matthew Dodge.
Yes.
Three votes yes, one vote no, motion carried.
While we're all here, are there any questions on the on the application other than the clarification of the dimensions?
No, thank you.
I don't have
Thank
any questions. You
I
provided us with everything that we've requested. I do not have any questions. I'm
You need
simply,
to set a public hearing date and
public hearing has not been closed. The public hearing is still open.
are you asking me to send out another public hearing notice though?
I'm asking you to send out a notice stating that the public hearing for AV 2023 AV-5 is continuing next month. Please note that the following changes have been made since the previous public hearing.
may I ask when the date of the next meeting is?
It's always the fourth Wednesday, or sorry, second Thursday.
Thursday.
I'm thinking of.
September 11th.
He can't make that meeting.
Well, your options are
If I don't.
the public hearing is open. Public hearing can remain open until your engineer is available or
Second by rail.
continue without him present.
3-1.
I don't think that any of us have any. I personally don't have any engineering questions.
You know,
As long as there's no questions about that, because I can't answer anything on that.
nothing specific.
One thing I would like to just bring to your attention, if you haven't taken a look at the APA materials that were generated for this project, I know that you need to go through a series of questions. One of them is have other alternatives been considered? And I will tell you that there were several alternatives considered, all the way from one thing about this project is access. Really, you can't get in there with heavy equipment. And so, I mean, we were looking at sheet piling from a crane, over the building, not putting in a wall, removing all the trees and, stabilizing the slope. So it definitely has had an exhaustive list of alternatives considered for this. So I just wanted to make you aware of that.
Mr. Sandlin, can I just say something? If he's not gonna be here next meeting and you guys plan on making decisions, I would suggest that you ask any questions to the engineer that you have right now. As far as decisions.
I am happy with it.
I do not have any questions. I have seen all of the APA information. I've seen everything that's gone back and forth. I know there are certainly, you have considered every possible alternative that I could think of as far as what's going on. I don't have any questions on the engineering of the wall.
Okay, great.
I do not either.
Next month.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is accepting the minutes from the July meeting. Has everyone seen the minutes? Anyone have any questions, comments on the minutes? Motion to approve July minutes.
Second.
Second by Rail. All in favor to approve the, July minutes? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Last item on the agenda is new and old business. I do not have any new or old business. Rail,
No new or old business for me.
Kayla,
Nothing.
Tanya?
No.
Karen?
The only thing I have is we are looking for an alternate right now. We have an empty spot on the planning board. If you know of anyone that might like to serve on a board, please send them our way. And at the end of the year, we have a member on this board who's going to be going to the town board and another member on the planning board is going to the town board. So we're going to have 2 more vacancies at the end of the year. So please talk it up to people that you know and see if you can get some people to volunteer. We're going to need them. That's all I have at this point.
Tucker?
I don't have anything.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second by Kayla.